these Salem sea captains is to head up to British Canada and capture shipping in that area and return as quickly as possible, theoretically before the Royal Navy shows up, right? So that's what they do. On the 1st of July, 1812, as soon as the privateering commissions arrived from Washington, they sailed out past the Baker's Island Lighthouse right there, left, sailed across the Main, and then on the 4th of July, 1812, in Passamaquoddy Bay, which is the border between New Brunswick and Maine, they captured a British ship and a British brig that had just left St. Andrews in New Brunswick with supplies to the Royal Navy heading across the Atlantic to England. Captured them, brought them back to England, were out a total of 8 or 9 days, and sold those prizes for about $6,500, of which their net was about $4,500. So they did very well. That was a lot of money for 1812, and they probably hadn't paid more than $500-600 for the schooner. Near as we can tell, I think there's a very good argument to be made that those are the first 2 prizes taken by any American privateer in a war that would last some 30 months. So anywhere between 1,500 and 2,000 British ships were captured by American privateers. And because our army was incompetent, and because our navy, however excellent, was very small and mostly bottled up by the end of the war, it was American privateering that was one of the best offensive weapons in our arsenal during the war. It was certainly one of the only ways that we could make the British feel like they were in a conflict, because American privateers captured British ships, drove up the price of British goods, drove up insurance on all British ships, whether or not they were being captured by privateers, forced the Royal Navy to convoy all these vessels, kept naval expenditures for Great Britain at a very high level all through the 30 months of the war. And this at a time in which Great Britain had already been at war for 20 years, fighting Napoleon, which to them was the real war. The American campaigns were just a sideshow, and really, frankly, a pain in their butt. This is a great course, just straight on. So the Fame made 12 voyages as a privateer. On her last one, she was wrecked in the Bay of Fundy between New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, and the crew were all captured and put in prison. There were so many American privateers in the prison of Halifax that they actually took them out of the prison of Halifax, put them in the hold of a homeward bound British vessel, and they ended up in Dartmoor, which is another whole fun chapter of the War of 1812, the treatment of prisoners. And that's where they were when the war finally ended. The treaty, of course, was signed on Christmas Eve of 1814. Those guys didn't make it back to Salem until July of 1850. It was one of the reasons why people were so upset about being in that prison, and one of the reasons why there was a riot and a so-called massacre during the spring of 1815. But that's a long, long story. You can all read about it in my book. Hey! All right, so I'm wrapping up now. I do encourage you to look at the baby book that we're handing around. It's got some great pictures of the boat under construction, which again was 10 years ago. And unless anyone has any questions, I am going to let you guys enjoy the sail. We're going to go out a little further, probably bang a tack, maybe get ready to fire the gun. And I think we have some hardtack for you guys to sample. Very difficult to have fresh food on long voyages in the 1800s and the 1900s. So we have an example of the biscuits that they used to make. They're very hard. I'm going to warn you all about this. They're very, very hard. The way to make them last long was to beat all the air bubbles out of them. So there could be no air pockets, no moisture inside these biscuits, and they would last a lot longer that way. So they're beat very hard, very flat, and then they're baked. So, yeah, when you're chewing these, you want to use those square teeth in the back of your mouth and not the delicate ones in the front. And if you have any sort of dental issues, anything, you want to stay the heck away from the hardtack, as it is hard. We also, because we realize not everyone is gung-ho like we are, we have 2 versions of hardtack. We have your basic hardtack, and then we have some hardtack that we put a little molasses and a little cinnamon on there to make it more palatable for the weasels who aren't willing to try the did I say that out loud?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I said it out loud. Well, anyways, there's 2 choices, and we'll give you an opportunity to try both.
Is your 4-year-old hardtack all gone?
The 4-year-old hardtack was all eaten up by the teachers 2 weeks ago.
That's good. That was a little rough.
Nice job, guys. They were very brave. They were very brave. And honestly, if you do it right, there shouldn't be much of a difference between the 4-year-old hardtack and the fresh baked stuff.
Okay.
So this stuff, although it will last indefinitely, was all baked this month by my wife. The long-suffering Alyssa. Any questions? Or should I go ahead and hand out the number 2 pencils? All right, I think we're ready for the exams. Nicole? Yeah.
Where's the beer?
Where's the beer? The beer is in the back to start with. The crew's happy to help you with it. Sam Summer, and Sam Light. Icicle. A barbecue? Well, this is a wooden boat. I mean, the crew is good, but they're not that good.
Are you saying they can't barbecue?
I'm saying that we might set fire to the boat while we're barbecuing.
With the bear.